My man,
What up, dude?
what's up, brother? How are you?
All is good over here, bro.
Hey, thank you for being patient, man. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties and
You
me
got
trying
it.
to head out of my ass. I'm using this platform for the first time.
Got it. Got it. Got
We
it.
we have a pretty nice studio down here now that we've been using, but this is my first digital podcast, so thank you, bro.
Got it. That's
My
cool.
man.
All
How are
good, bro.
how are you, my friend?
Couldn't be better, man. Couldn't be
Yeah,
better. Life is good. Making shit happen.
you've been getting after it, bro. You
I steady get after it.
yeah, man. I see the you're trying to become a Navy SEAL or something, dude. You're running like 35 miles and shit. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, man. I guess I wish I started doing some of this shit when I was younger.
Yeah.
It'd have been a lot easier.
Do you
You
wake
know?
up beat up now or what?
Oh, dude, I'm sore every day, bro.
Let's
I'm
go,
sore every
man.
day. I just left I do this thing we have this place called Stretch Lab.
Uh-huh.
We basically lay on a table and they stretch you for an hour.
Yep.
I do that once a week now. So I'm so wore out from training and I do a lot. I put in
Those
work, bro.
man. We have those down here. Bro, the biggest flex I've ever seen in my life before I give you a nice intro is I think you did like 8 miles going from the front of your driveway carrying bags to the back of your house, right? To the garden. Yeah. Fuck off, bro. That was like, how do you do 8 miles that way, bro?
I got a long driveway
I got you.
and there were 30 bags.
I got you, man.
So I threw on the weighted vest. Home Depot, my wife wanted to build, so I built these little raised garden beds for her. And
Yes,
just
sir.
wood. You build them up, took a couple hours, whatever, put them together.
Got
Then you got to fill them with dirt so she can plant and everything.
you. Right.
So I ordered the dirt from Home Depot because I didn't want to go pick it up. They dropped it at the end of my driveway. They wouldn't bring it to the house
Right.
because the driveway is so long and windy. It's a pain in the ass to get up for a big truck.
Right.
And so my options were load it up on the side by side and drive it back and forth a few times or whatever. But I had a workout to get in. So I was like, what if I just carry them? It'd be some distance. I don't know how long. I've never done it. I'll just do it. And then Amanda, who you know, she was like, are you going to wear your weighted vest too? I'm like, well, now that you call me out and put it out there, I can't not do it. So I threw on the vest, man. I started carrying bags, and after 4 bags, I was drenched, and it was hot. It was a lot, and it was a mile. And I'm like, shit, I got 26 more bags to go, bro. So it was eight miles total. It took me 2.5 hours to do a 20-minute job.
That's
The
crazy,
way I
dude.
did it, yeah.
I've been watching like Joe Rogan and stuff, and like they're trying to figure out how the pyramids are built. I think it was just a couple crazy motherfuckers like you, man. I think that's how it was built, dude.
Isn't it nuts? That's why I'm like, I'm not that crazy relative to people, like relative to the average person, sure.
Right.
But when
Right.
you put me in a pool of crazy people,
Yeah.
I ain't doing that much.
Right. No, I got you. This is an
You know what I
obsession.
mean?
This is an obsession talent pool, right? But it's also
Yeah.
like then there's obsession talent pool over 40. And then there's just all right, this dude
Sure.
loves pain and is trying to get after it and fix it,
Yeah.
man. But let me give you an introduction, man. Like I want to say thank you for being here, man. But welcome to the Money Talks podcast, man. This is a podcast for the dreamers, believers, and overachievers in this world. People who
I love it.
just who don't typically fit into normal society. Either you dream too big, or you can't really correlate to what the average typical person sees their day as and what their life is, right? And for me, it's people like you that are normal people, right? Nobody's special, but have had a dream and like had the balls to chase it. Today's guest is a man that's an inspiration to me. He's a man that's built his life. He's basically changed it from rags to riches. If you've read his book, Do More Now, Get Better Later, you'll take a kind of a glimpse into his life. But life was not always good for you, John. Right?
I mean, life has always been good because I've been here, but I
Right.
didn't have any money or any way to do anything. And you know what I mean? So in the normal context of the word, dude, I don't try to be negative.
Right.
But if you go financially
Mhm.
and have you been through stuff? Yeah, dude. But it's like a lot of people, man. You know, it's
Right.
most of us. Most of us, life isn't good in the way you
Right.
asked it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, man. Like many others, millions of others, bro. Grew up on welfare, government housing, teenage mom. I was a teenage dad for the first time. Just, life was what it was. I didn't know any better.
Right.
Weird enough, So I grew up, I was happy when I grew up. I had a lot of friends. I played a lot. When you grow up on welfare, you don't know that's not how the rest of the world is. You don't
Right.
find that out till much later in life.
Right.
So I didn't know there was a in or out or this side of the tracks and that side of the tracks. I didn't know all that till I was significantly older in life. So looking back, man, I made it through what most people give up on. They quit. I just didn't quit, dude.
That's a beautiful thing, my man. It's crazy because it is all perspective, right? Like I heard this quote, and it says, "Your worst day is always somebody's best day in this world."
It's true.
And I really live that way. But one thing I admire about you, John, a lot is like you're really the people's champ. You simplify your success as much as you've scaled it and as much as you've done, and it's unrelatable to people. I didn't want to use this term, but you're the $250 million man, right? Like I was trying to get away from it, but it's also like it's that's not very practical thing to people. That doesn't make sense to a lot of people when you explain it that way. But the way you explain how you got there is so simplified that I feel like you could teach a monkey how to do it. But you tell people that you're not special. And where most people would come over and kind of exaggerate that or really I mean, I don't know the words that I'm trying to use here, but complicated, right? The way you got to where you were and the way that you were able to execute. It's not very practical to a lot of people, but the way you explain it is I'm a very normal guy. I went through a lot of struggles just like you. I picked up the phone and I changed my life, right? But if I ask you, so this podcast is I believe for the young and aspiring entrepreneurs and then also the entrepreneurs. And my goal here is to get the entrepreneurs to come and share a little bit of life advice and kind of what makes you tick and kind of put a lot of people in your shoes, but also so a lot of people can understand that average everyday people with shit going on can make it to the mountaintop, and a lot of people don't see it that way, man. So like, if I can ask you this, John, who is, and I know this is a very broad question, but to you, who is John Wetmore?
That the answer to that has changed a lot over the years, dude. I was and I think that's the beautiful thing about life, man, is we can all evolve and you can become who you want to become. You just got to build it. It's like, I look at it, man. I saw this picture once. You Google it and I'm sure find it. But I always see this picture of like, think of like it's a statue, right? And there's this dude and he's like, he is the statue and he's chiseling, like this is a chisel. The statue is of him chiseling himself.
So is it like real skinny at the top and then real fat like at the bottom?
Yeah. So that's how I kind of picture the journey. Okay. You know what I mean? And we can sit around with the chisel in our hand and the hammer in one hand and just sit there and do nothing about it. Or we can start fucking chiseling away, dude. And when I was your age, I can look back and see where the dots connected. You know what I mean? And where I was looking back, trying to get more but I just didn't put it in the right gear early. I didn't, I don't know, man. I can make all the excuses in the world, but the reality is I blamed everyone else for my circumstance early on. And when things didn't go my way, which was often, I was negative about it, which probably fueled more negative stuff coming. You know what I'm saying? I always put it on someone else. It was always the boss. It was always my friend. It was always this guy. It was always the school, my environment, whatever it was. I was looking at my mom, she came to my house on Mother's Day and she brought like an old baby book with her of mine. Cause I was talking about, somehow it came up to conversation. People ask me a lot about numbers. I'm a numbers guy and I track numbers and all this stuff. And people ask like, what made you start tracking and how do you do it? And I'm like, dude, I've been this way since I was a kid. And my mom brought me this baby book and in it was from when I was like 9 or 10. And you play like little league baseball.
Of course.
I mean, you sign up. We all do some kind of little basic level sport locally. I wasn't in, the elite all-star nothing. I just played baseball every, weekend for a few years or whatever. But during that time, man, I would write all my stats out. So I'd be like, game 1, here's the date. and it would have it'd be like game 1, game 2, and I had all the games, and then on the top I had like at bats, hits, singles, doubles, triples, home runs, RBIs, batting average. At 9, 10 years old, dude, and she still has the sheet of paper. I actually have it upstairs in my office now. She still has the sheet of paper to where I was 9 years old. I was tracking that. I would track like my baseball card inventory. I would write it down. Video games, dude, back before like, now today Madden, everybody plays a season and it has all the stats and you build your custom guy and you do.
Yeah.
Well, dude,
You're on the Sega Genesis, huh?
Yeah, in 1994, bro, they didn't track none of the stats, dude.
Yeah, right.
So I would write them down, and in my video games, I would keep track of my own stats.
Right.
It's just it's just who I am. I don't know why I'm that way.
Right.
But I also in that baby book was like my old report cards from school. And when you get to like 6th grade, from 6th till I graduated, dude, conduct was a thing, effort, all those classes, bro. D's, F's. We had U's instead of F's at one period. So it'd be D. There was one period where it was a D, 4 semesters. I got a D, a U, and 2 D's. So it says dud right across it. That was my grade for like conduct. Participation. Dude, I was always low. The little comments teachers make was basically like, John won't shut up. He won't stop talking. He interrupts the class. That was me young, Today, man, dude, I'm someone that just does hard shit. I like accomplishing things. I like helping people win. I like taking things that seem confusing and finding an easier way to do them, because I think everybody overcomplicates shit. And I wish people told me things more simply when I was younger. I overcomplicate things internally. So I have to learn how to regurgitate stuff, man. But I don't know, dude. I'm just a dude who works hard every day on achieving his goals, because I've learned no one else is going to do it for me. And if I go after it consistently over a decent period of time, I've learned most people will also quit. And it looks like I'm doing more than most purely because I just don't give up anymore. Well, when I was younger, I used to give up on stuff, man. I'd start it and bounce.
Do you feel like the law of attrition has helped you in everything you've done just because you're so resilient? Like,
yeah, dude, that's the biggest piece of it, bro.
Yeah.
How many people have started in this space since I've been in the space that were significantly more talented, had 10, 15, 20 years sales experience, had experience, hell, in insurance. You know what I mean? People that had access to the same mentors I had. They had access to the same leads, the same companies, the same license, they were in the same rooms as me.
Right.
So it's like, you go, get in the room. That does it. Nah, dude. Nah, I've been in the rooms and didn't do shit with it. And I've had people in the rooms with me that didn't do shit with it. Once you're in the room, now you got to do some work.
Right.
So yeah, I think outlasting is a big piece of it. There was this race around my house, not from a dude who runs, it's called, he runs a supplement company. I think it's called BPN. Bear. I think his last name is Bear.
Nick Bear.
Yeah.
Nick Bear.
Right. So he's somewhere local around here-ish. He has a presence in Georgia. And in the endurance world, he's connected to other people I follow.
Right.
Did you see his shit this week? I talked about doing 40 miles, whatever. So they do this event. This guy, Chad Wright's a big name in the space too. He's local.
Love him to death.
Oh, dude, he's psycho.
Yeah.
So I did his event last month, but Chad did Nick's event this weekend.
Gotcha.
It's called Do One More, right? So similar to my Do More concept, he calls it Do One More.
Right.
And it's on his ranch or whatever. And it's a race where you do, I don't know every detail of his, but there's a lot of runs like this. I think it's a mile loop and you have so much time to do the mile. And then the next mile starts and you continue that mile loop until the last person is standing running. So if 100 people start, there's only one winner. The finish to the race is everyone else quit. Does that make sense? That's the only way to win.
It's like last man standing.
It's literally a last man standing race.
Gotcha.
It's on his stories and stuff right now. It started Saturday at noon. Okay. Weather sucked this weekend. We had storms. They had to call the race. 2 dudes were left at mile like 250. From Saturday afternoon, they called the race like yesterday. They ran all day and night Saturday, overnight Sunday. And they did like 40 hours, some obnoxious, you know what I mean? So it's like I did 40 miles in a day. These cats did 250, bro.
That's crazy.
Without stopping.
That's not
no
real.
Sleep.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, so when I go, I did 40, like that sounds crazy to the average person.
Right.
But no offense, these two cats could do it backwards and it'd be like a weekend off.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? So I see that and I'm like, it's hard to say I'm doing something crazy impressive by doing the workout stuff I do when you got guys like this. And I could make excuses and go, they're 20, I'm almost 50. But still, it's like, I wish I was
thought that way.
No, bro. No.
Because that's it's such a contagious mindset to have. But in reality, I talked to my brother, right? He got in a motorcycle accident and whatnot, like 2 months ago, and broke his spine and all this other things. And he's a very A-type personality like me, but he's also go, go, go. And he was in the oil field. It's so funny. I'm going to give you some context. He was in the oil field for about 3 years, and all he did was just work on drilling rigs and stir shit up in his life. And that's all. He very fast-paced, like very driven person. And so he broke his back. And so I flew out there to El Paso, and now I told him, just come down here. I got you. I'll take care of you. And so now I'm able to, but life kind of put a damper on what he did, but he was always go, 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 just like yourself. And so I'm curious, like, did you, to your point, that mindset, it's very contagious because he always says, sometimes he tells me, he's like, bro, don't compare yourself to everybody else, right? Because I'm very like, yeah, bro, he'll did a day in the life the other day, and we drove around. I made a couple hundred phone calls, and we're going to do podcasts and film my podcast, right? We have an office that we go to, and I told you privately what we're working on. We're building an agency, right? And he's like, fuck, man, you're doing a lot. I'm like, yeah, but I just know like so-and-so over here is killing it. Like I went and saw your boy Tanner in Austin, and that motherfucker's doing a lot, you know? And so it's very relative. And he's like, don't make the comparison. But for me, the comparison is what keeps me going. Do you feel like that drives you, or has it always been like that for you?
So I do it in a funny way. Like when I see someone who's doing more than me, I don't look at it in a way of like from a negative perspective. You know what I mean? You see some people doing more and they're like, they compare themselves and they beat themselves up, or they think they're not good enough, or they think maybe that dude got an advantage, or he had a silver spoon, or daddy's money, or he didn't work, or he got lucky, or whatever it is they think. It's irrelevant. You could go both ways with it.
Yes, sir.
For me, the thing I've had forever is, and I still have it now, is like if I see someone else killing it, I don't get like too enamored with much of anything, but I do know they did stuff and they know stuff that I didn't do or know. Does that make sense? And I'm like, well, if I knew the stuff and I committed to do it, I feel like I could have a similar result. You know what I mean? And I've had that since I was a kid. Like I've always had this little inkling of, like, I'll give you two perspectives, man. And like Maddox is 13, he's in baseball right now. And he drives me a little bit crazy that he doesn't like obsessively practice in his downtime. It internally bothers me because I'm fucking obsessive now.
Right.
But I also don't want to beat him up too bad. But it does drive me a little crazy. But at 13, dude, you know what I did? I skipped every baseball practice. I didn't want to practice. I just wanted to show up to the game and play. You know what I mean? I didn't want to go to football practice and do 2-a-days all summer. I'm like, yo, I can just throw me the ball, bro. I can catch. I'm good. Just put me in, start me. And I got cut. I didn't make my freshman baseball team. And in sophomore year, I tried out for high school, and they wouldn't let me play the position I want. And they wanted me to practice more than I wanted to practice. So I quit. And no one gave a shit. They all moved on. The football program moved on. They did fine. You know what I mean? Like everyone moved on without me. No one cared.
Right.
And so I'm like, I was that way once too with some things. But then at the same time, I can remember like selling candy and selling cassettes at school, and you know what I mean? Like all the little different side hustles I've tried. Like there was always something inside. It just had to be the right thing in the right way for me. So there was little inklings of it, man.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we can mold ourselves into whatever we want. I don't think you roll out of bed and just are something. I think even if you have inklings of it, if you don't put it in practice,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like if I took my personality now of the way I'm going to go get something, and I said at 13, put that in me, oh, I'd have been a stud athlete, dude.
Yeah.
Because in the playground, I was great with all the kids, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just playing out in the parks and things around town and shit. But dude, when it came to like, hey, what is an A gap and a B gap? And
Yeah.
I don't know what any of that means. Still to this day, dude. I don't even understand it. Because I
Gotcha.
never wanted to study that. I didn't want to do that
Right.
piece.
Mhm.
You know, nickel defense. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what that means. I
Yeah.
don't, you know what I mean?
Don't let them
I didn't.
score.
Correct. That was my thing. Hey,
Yeah.
the ball's in the air, catch it, whether you're on offense or defense.
I'm
And
going
if
to
someone
get
else has the ball, hit them.
it. Put a hat on somebody. That's
That's
right.
it.
I got
You
you.
know?
I got you.
And
Yeah.
unfortunately, man, in life, people think they can run through life the way I was trying to run through football. You know what I mean? You think you can kind of do it. I'm like, nah, dude. Someone else has the ball, like a competitor, dude, very nicely. You better take their head off.
Right.
I can be nice about it, but dude, I'm going after it. I'm gonna outlast. I'm gonna outperform. I'm gonna continue to put in work because I know that will come through today. So I had to learn that, dude. I wish I do have regrets, man. And that, again, you always go like, what your experience in life gets you where you're at. So it's hard to have regrets. Like, dude, I had my first kid at 16. You go, do you regret that? It'd be really hard to say to like my kid's face, like I regret that.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right.
But I certainly advise that they take a different path.
The timing wasn't ideal at the time, right?
But without it, bro, I ain't who I am, and I don't have the kids. You know what I mean? Like it worked out.
Right.
So I say I regret the way I handled things in my 20s, but at the same time, dude, I can remember working in a warehouse when I was 20 to maybe 24. I worked in a warehouse loading trucks at night, but I went to school full time during the day.
Damn.
With 2 kids. So I was working at night in the warehouse from 6 p.m. to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. Depending what time we got done, varied. And then I would have school. I got my associates during the day full time for 2 years. And then when I got my first accounting job during the day, I went to school full time at night to get my bachelor's.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And at that point I still had 2 kids when I got my bachelor's. So I both times with 2 kids and a full-time job and married.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, so I had a little something. Like I fought through that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I always had multiple. Yeah. But it didn't equal money. Yeah. So I went through all that shit and I still only made 30 grand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I was clawing my way out, trying to find my way through life. And it took till I was mid-30s to kind of figure it out to a new level and cross paths with the opportunity that made sense for me and the people that could help me. It all sort of came together in my mid-30s pretty well. And me being sick and tired of living mediocre, dude.
Right.
You know, and seeing a guy like you realize it significantly earlier in life than I did. I'm like, this is what I want to do is teach people this shit early. And now 10 or guys in their 20s, dude, I'm working with dudes
40, 50, 60 grand a month, bro.
Dude, and that's on the low end, dude. I know a cat in our group is making a couple $100,000 a month at 22.
Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean? It's like
beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And
so
isn't it crazy with kids, how kids do that for you? Like for me, I've always been 2 things, pretty selfish, very transactional. Right. And so instead of being just the guy that's like, hey man, I love to hang out with you, I've always been what do you want? What can I get out of this? And how can we just not make this a fake thing because it really weirds me out? But also like, I need what's best for me because I have a big heart and I want to do good for the people that I love, and with my son, it's funny. My brother's like, Mom, fucking proud of you. It's a beautiful thing for him to say that because, we don't always share that. And he's here and he's going on these just these days, what a day in the life is, right? And like even on Friday, it's cool, man. We're gonna go out. I'm taking him downtown San Antonio, but we got like, man, we're trying to do it John Wetmore style. We got like security and like we got this stuff fucking film us, bro. And it's not for us, it's for them, But like I've been busting my ass, man, and it's really working out. But I'm like, listen, the key is have a kid because every other week I have, and it's like 1 week we will send it. And then the next week, you have to be an example for
Yeah.
somebody, and
Sure.
you have to go be something for somebody. And
Yeah.
it's just it automatically triggers me, and it resets me every week. I see my son, right, and he jumps into my arms, and he's here, and he's like, I want to go to mommy's house. That's like how it works. But for me, it's like, I got to teach you something today. Like I
Yeah.
have to I'm very intentional with the time I have. But had I not had him, my career and everything that I've done would have been lackadaisical,
Sure.
because I would have tried it with everything I had, probably would have hit my head and said, F this,
Yeah. Yeah.
But because I have him, perspective is we have to fight through whatever it is we're trying to do, and we have to do things with intention.
Sure.
And so how much for you do you think like having kids early really helped you? Or do you
I
think you're
mean,
all disciplined?
yeah, dude, it changed my life instantly. Because I was a little punk at
Right.
16.
Yeah.
I'd have done some really dumb things if I didn't have kids young. I know.
Yeah.
I would have messed up, dude, for
Right.
sure. So it got me into work mode quick. And I mean, right at 16, that was the first time I worked.
Mhm.
And she was born at 17, the beginning of my senior year, and I was working full time during my senior year in high school.
Mhm.
And immediately when high school ended, dude, I became the manager of the restaurant I was working. The day I graduated high school, they put me
Damn.
as the manager because I'd been there already 2 years at the
Yeah.
place. And from that point on, dude, 70 hours a week from that point on, that's all I knew. And then when I
Yeah.
worked at the warehouse, it was, 50 plus 60 hours a week plus school.
Yeah.
And then when I was done with that, it was a 40-hour accounting job. And I usually had a second job. I was laying carpet. I was doing labor stuff. I would do whatever.
Yeah.
So I had the drive to take care of my kids. The problem is with two jobs and not really. Again, I went to a community college, dude. It's not like I went to
Same here.
Harvard Business School.
Same
You
here,
know what I
bro.
mean? So it's
Yeah.
like the opportunities are different, certainly.
Mhm.
And then I didn't really know anything about business or selling or anything like that. So I just had two regular jobs. You know what I mean? I was just in my head, yes,
Mhm.
that did change, but it didn't lead to money
Right.
for almost 20 years, 18 years. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have an opportunity. I didn't understand sales, and I just didn't have any direction in that world. I didn't know anyone doing that. Where I grew up, no one was making it big. You know what I mean? It was just, I didn't
Yeah.
see that. So when I was in my mid 30s, man, I started seeing some people that were having success, and I was like, yo, what do they do?
Right.
The hustle wasn't the hard part for me.
Right.
The hustle I had,
It
from
was
the kids.
pinpointing that dream, right? Pinpointing.
It
I
was the
need
hustle
a
that made me
vehicle.
money.
Right. I need a vehicle to like get me there, because
Yeah.
I know that I want to put this somewhere. I know I have this energy.
Yeah.
I want more than
Yep.
other people. I don't know where to put it. Right.
Correct.
And what the goal is. I always tell people, they're like, man, insurance must have, you must love it. I'm like, insurance was never the dream, bro. Insurance was never the dream. It gave me a way out. I
Right.
ran into it. I became good at it. And like we have a saying in our family, like if you love something, find something you love and bust your ass, and you'll learn to love it, right? Over
Yeah.
time. Is that
Yeah.
kind of like similar for you?
Dude, I didn't want anything to do with insurance, bro.
Yeah.
But it was the only thing that could pay me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then I started doing it more. And quite frankly, the client we see scared me even more because I saw that as my future if I didn't do something big.
Yes, sir.
Right. I mean, our average client that's in their 60s, I mean, what do they live like? I don't want to live like that.
Yeah.
Social Security, right? What's the average income of the average client you see?
Down here, dude.
And who's the average employer? It's the government. You know what I mean?
Not great.
It's like I didn't want that, man. So that was the initial drive. And then I also, when I got into the business, I'm very aware. I don't, as much as I might talk a lot in today's age, if you put me in an environment that I'm not used to, I don't say two words. I just kind of watch and listen. And so early on in the insurance space, I noticed the client demographic, but then I also noticed the average agent. Think about the average agent that's in any room at any time in the insurance space, or the average person you interview that's already licensed. What's their status? The average person you talk to, what's their status?
Halfway broke.
Halfway my ass. They're probably fully broke, right?
Halfway out the door for sure.
Correct. Yeah. They don't do shit.
Right.
They don't make any money. They ain't done anything. They complain. They're negative. They're frustrated.
Yeah.
right? That's the average insurance agent, dude.
Yes,
So
sir.
I saw that and I'm like, well, hell, I don't really want that either.
Mm,
But the difference was there's a little sprinkle of people over here in the room
mm,
that live significantly different
right.
than the insurance agents over here,
Right.
right? Take any event, front of the room versus everybody else.
Mm,
Or even in the room, if you take the first couple rows of any event
mm,
and then everybody else,
yep.
there's such a gap
Right.
in lifestyle and ability.
Mm,
But there's so many of them that are living well. It's not like there was one off.
mm,
Every room I went into with insurance, there was always a gang of people at the front that were killing it.
mm,
And I went like, all right, I want that.
yeah.
That's that I want.
That's my life.
That's it. I want to be at the front of the room.
Yeah.
I want the suit. I want the money. I want the microphone.
Yeah. Happy
That's
wife
what I
is
want.
smiling all the time, right? Like, because she knows things are good. I saw
Yeah.
that as well. My mentor, you know my mentor, but
Mhm.
he always told me, he was like, 5% of the people make up 95% of the money, and it's
Yeah,
all
buddy.
attrition. It's all
Yeah.
attrition. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing, man. I do want to I'm gonna hijack this a little bit. I want to say thank you for being here, bro. It's pretty surreal, man. Like coming into the business, having a fantastic mentor, starting where I started, and just being so fortunate, right, to excel the way that I did and be loved
Sure.
on by who I did, and I took off. And then I felt like, from my perspective, the golden handcuffs were coming out. Like, hey, we're gonna give you this much and this much, but you got to do
Yeah.
this, and then if you wait long enough, then we'll put you here. And it's funny because quitting was never an option. I didn't make money for a month, right? But that's like they gave me a key to the office, bro. Like the first month, they were like, "This dude's here at 7. He doesn't leave till 11." Sometimes I'd like wake up at like 3 a.m. with snot or like slobber on my face. I'm like, I gotta go home and shower, bro. I gotta be back here. Like they gave me a
Yeah.
key, man, and but they were always showing the agents paychecks, right? Top paychecks for the week: 3,000,
Sure.
5,000, 6,000, and I'm like, what are the agency owners getting? Like what are they making? Because they don't show their paychecks, and I left. The best opportunity in the world was scary shit, bro. Like every day, I'm like, what the fuck were you doing, Joe? I left that
Yeah.
opportunity because I saw that the people who were executing and really doing it, that 5%, were no different than myself.
Correct.
Before I quit, I got on the phone because, the company I was with had 4,000 agents, and then they had the regionals and they had offices
Sure.
all over. I had to get on the phone with everyone that I could and say, before I quit this, what makes you tick? And then the one thing I noticed was none of them were special. None of them were great. They just had non-negotiables. I
So
let my
good.
emotions dictate my day, my month, my
Yeah.
week, and they all
Yeah.
had non-negotiables where I get up at this time, I execute at this time, anything but fucking dead, this gets done. Right. And the way, similar to the way you live your life. And so I left and I went somewhere else, and I was like, I don't want to be an agent. I want to be a broker. And then I go over there and like they start treating me really good, man. But that's still not what I want. I
Yeah.
want more. I want more. I want to go chase this dumbass fucking dream that I have, that somehow if I put all the chips on me and I just save up all this money and I throw it at this and we get 300 agents and I teach them the fucking dream, it either works or I go bankrupt. But regardless, I tried it. And so I left again. But it's because people like you, and God forbid, I mean, God bless, it's working out, man. But
Yeah.
like because of people like you that have simplified it, and you've crawled so I could walk, right? And
Yeah.
have paved that way. Your perspective was able to help somebody like me who didn't think they could do
Mhm.
it realize they could take over the fucking world. I sent you a
Yeah.
text one time. I'm gonna call
Yeah.
you out right here in a beautiful way, but it was like, man, you just bought a brand new Porsche. What does that feel like? Is it like, oh shit, or is it like, man, it's the same shit? You said it's both. You're like, I drive it every day, but then sometimes I go in the garage and I'm like, well, fuck, man, I do have a brand new Porsche.
Yeah.
For me, having mentors like you and people like you in my life is why I'm able to go be that for somebody else. Had you not taken the time when we met to just give this kid the time of day, I don't know if I'd have the same effect on people that I have now. So I want to say thank you, bro. But I'm going to lead into
Man,
this next question because we
love
don't
it.
have a lot of time. But thank you, John. I appreciate it,
Happy to
bro.
help, bro. I love it. I love it. Happy to help.
So when I talk to people, I have a pretty interesting story, but we're not here to talk about me. I always speak on, I share the darkness in my life, right? Because they want to know about the triumph. but the triumph doesn't come from the light. It comes from the darkness. So can you take me in your journey back to your darkness, bro? What was that to you?
Man, I've had a lot of it, dude. I think it. Here's what I will share it because people, you want to hear it, fine. But dude, I don't think I'm unique in that darkness. I think our darks are different from each other's,
right?
But I feel like everyone has them,
right?
You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, what's the alternative? Like permanent dark. I don't have that, so that's fucking good. I'm not in the ground,
right?
You know what I mean? So for me,
Amen.
When I talk to people, I'm like, hey, how's it going? They're like, not a bad day. My response is always the same. I go, sure beats the alternative though, don't it? When they kind of give me some half-ass answer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, beats the alternative, don't it? And they pep up right away. They're like, yeah, good point. Great day. I'm like, all right, watch your words. They're important.
Right.
But yeah, dude, I think if you go, I mean, where do you want to start? You grow up without a dad. You grow up in welfare. You know what I mean? Like, there's that. You have a kid at 16. You don't know where you're gonna go. You're used to welfare. My mom didn't have her first job till I was like 10 or 11, dude. We didn't have a car till I was 10 or 11. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know anything, but I didn't grow up and I didn't feel like
you didn't know the difference.
Dude, it's just how we lived.
We just figured it out. Yeah.
So you have I had my first kid young, you know what I mean? Immature, made poor decisions. Didn't really pay much attention to it. Got married really young. And I was a terrible fucking, I was a good dad for as little as I knew. Like, I played with my kids a lot. I didn't ever ghost them. But, you know, hey, you get their mom on here with us right now. She'll tell you plenty of stories about how much of a dick I was and how poor decisions I made and how much vodka I drank and how much weed I've smoked in my life. And you know what I mean? Like, dude, I've had time. So I've been through divorce. I've been through bankruptcy. I've had 2 houses foreclosed on. I've had a car repoed. And then even going through with Steph. You've met Steph? I don't remember.
No, sir.
No. Okay. She comes around to a decent amount of stuff. I've been married to her now. We've been married. We got married in 2011, 14 years. No, we got married in 2010. So 15 years. Maddox was born in 2011.
Gotcha.
But dude, 7 years ago, we nearly got damn divorced. You know what I mean? Yeah. Poor decisions, just me doing dumb shit, being an idiot. Just, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I could give you business dark times. I could give you times where I was cut out of the fucking company I was working with, where I made poor decisions. They made poor, you know what I mean? Like, I can give you a million of them. Right. Mine, unfortunately for me, dude, mine was wrapped around a lot of vodka and weed. Like my dark times. That was my escape. And I wouldn't say like I was such an alcoholic. I was like DUIs. I didn't get there, but
it was your vice,
dude.
Right? Like,
bro, every day. Vodka OJ every day.
Yep,
oh, dude.
Yeah,
dude. You can vodka OJ, bro. You can have that shit for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
You really can. Believe it or not. Put OJ with anything.
Yeah. So, you know, my dark times were unfortunately usually caused by me making stupid decisions, selfish. You know what I mean? I don't communicate well. So if I let things boil up, one day I just snap and I'm out.
Yep.
And I do things without a lot of thought.
Yes, sir.
Historically.
Yeah.
You know, so you deal with that, man. And you start, I can take you to my house and show you a stack like this of papers from Georgia Department of Child Services and courts and legal. I can bring you the whole stack from when I couldn't afford to pay it and I was being threatened with jail. You know what I mean? It's like emotionally, dude. When I was first with Steph, I was on anxiety meds. I was on, I'll think of it in a minute. One of the depression anxiety meds, one of the normal ones out there.
I got you.
And Lexapro. I was on that for years.
Lexapro,
yeah. Hey, you mix that with vodka, dude, you end up on the floor in a minute. You'd be out.
Yeah.
When I first met her, I was on that. And she was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. I've been on 5-6 years. I don't know. She's like, well, you ain't taking that shit no more. And within like 60 or 90 days of being with Steph, she had weaned me off the Lexapro. You know what I mean? Started helping me with vision and like, yo, what are you doing? Like, because she saw inklings of it. Everyone always saw. You know what pisses me off? I was always that kid in school with potential.
Yep.
If you would just, your potential's like this. If only, I was always that.
Yep.
And, you know, kind of going through those times, man, with Steph, when it came back time to get into insurance and I saw the opportunity for the second time around, because I quit insurance the first time I was in it. Let my license expire. And second time around, dude, I was just like tired. You ever be tired of being tired, tired of being broke, tired of making excuses? I got tired of hearing my own shit. The words come out of my mouth.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't share this a lot because I'm like, what's it fucking matter, dude? Suck it up and fix it.
Yep.
But for you, I'll share a little more detail than I normally do. And that was the time from when I was 20 to I was 35. That was a storm over my life. Now I had some good days and good times.
Of
Don't
course.
get me wrong, but a 15-year period, there was a lot of bills that bounced, a lot of checks that didn't make it, a lot of things turned off, a lot of utilities cut off. I got evicted from, forget the foreclosures. I got evicted from houses I was renting. You know what I mean? Like, so
I
it's
remember
just
that
like,
feeling.
man.
Did you always know? Like I've always told my family this, like regardless, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but like
No, you're
I'm
good.
gonna figure it the fuck out. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
be the one. I don't know how. Just trust me.
I didn't
got
say it a lot, but I
Yeah.
always knew it. I'd
Right.
always try things.
Right.
I can remember selling stuff on eBay when I was first with Steph. I would buy stuff here and sell it over here.
Yeah.
Dude, I sold stamps on eBay. I sold Bose. I used to buy like imitation Bose headphones and sell them on eBay. Bose sued me once because of that.
They sued you?
Hell yeah, dude. I still have
That's
the email
gangster,
to
bro.
this day. Yeah. It didn't
That's
go anywhere.
gangster shit.
Their lawyer sent me cease and desist letters, bro. Hopefully this doesn't come up. And it was a long time ago. It was like 15 plus years ago. I signed up to remember when selling gas became like regulated or deregulated or whatever, and you could sell gas and get it. I got into that.
I got you.
Dude, I signed up to Amway once when I was like 20. I always had I did mortgages on the side. I got my real estate license one. I was always like, I want to do something.
Yeah.
But much like baseball practice when I was 13, dude, I just didn't commit. I didn't go all in. I didn't treat it like I was trying to make the NFL or the MLB. I didn't separate myself ever. I just tinkled with it. I didn't get rich quick, and I pushed it to the side and moved on to something new.
Is it safe to say you didn't treat anything like it was everything?
Nah, dude. I didn't put effort into shit.
Yeah.
If Big Brother came on with a new episode on Thursday, I sure wasn't on eBay. I was watching the new episode of Big Brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When, I don't know, pick a show, dude. Survivor came out this week. I wasn't dialing, bro. I was watching the new episode of Survivor. Hell, I used to watch Real Housewives of Orange County with my wife back in the day.
I remember you saying you were all fucking caught up, right?
Hell yeah, dude. I still had Tamra. I still probably name a few of them, bro. I could probably still name a few of them for sure.
I got you.
So I just dipped my toe in, bro. I was like the average person. I was just dipping my toe in stuff.
But you got tired of your own shit, right?
Hell yeah, dude. I was so tired, man.
I was always getting in a fight or into some shit somewhere because I was bitter and upset, and then always telling my family I got this, and then my son's mothers, I have two different ones, and they were living for the moment where they could say you're not shit, and then I was really living up to that expectation. Then one day I remember just looking at myself like I looked up, and I'm a Christian man. I was like, God, if you give me one more chance, I won't mess this up. And that was this, right? And I just got tired of it, bro. I was like, there's no more justifying, there's no more explaining, there's no more you are everywhere. I feel like everybody today, what they have and where they are is exactly what they deserve. Because life is hard work and good decisions, and 70% of it is good decisions, right? I feel, and I just kind of got tired of my own shit too. So to hear you say that to where you are, it's a beautiful thing because those core values and those key things kind of never change, right?
That keeps happening. So at the first time it happened, it was a one-day thing. I changed one day.
Gotcha.
It was like March of 2015, dude. I won't forget it. I had to deal with some bullshit, and I got a letter, and I was pissed about the letter, and it was money stuff, and I was pissed about the money. And a buddy, one of my mentors, walks up to me and he asked me, I was losing my mind in the office one day.
Yeah.
And it was $1,000, and I was pissed. You've probably heard this piece of the story. I give detail on it a lot in the book. I tell the whole story, but for this, I'll give the short version. He comes into my office and he goes, "Can I ask you a question, dude?" I said, "Yep." "What do you want?" He goes, are you really losing your ever-loving mind right now over something that can be solved with one application a month?
That's deep.
And I was like,
Yeah.
fool ain't wrong. And that day, dude, I changed everything. And I just went at it a different way. Schedule. I just went at it, dude. And I went from being mediocre-ish, selling on the life side, 8, 10, 12 grand a month, to 40K, 50, 60, 70K. The next 2 years, 2.5 years, I put $1 million in my pocket on life insurance from that moment. All right, so that was one time. Turned it up, went nuts, became a top producer, started recruiting. Fine. You fast forward a few years, dude, you can get complacent. You can start watching leaderboards. You can start seeing the money flow. I'm making 150 grand a month, dude, 2019, and I'm kind of complacent with it. You know what I mean? 2018 was really bad. That's the year with Steph, and I was doing dumb shit and drinking too much and enjoying the money and partying, just doing dumb shit, dude. But our team didn't grow at all in 2018. I was doing 800 grand a month. I was making great. I was doing well, but I wasn't helping or influencing more people. So January 19, dude, kind of pissed off again. I was like, you know what? I'm going to change. And I changed the way I started looking at the recruiting side of the business then. And I changed everything that year, and I went, F it, watch. Dude, 2019, we tripled. I went from doing like 800 grand a month. To the end of the year, we were doing 2.5 million a month.
Let's go.
Again, from one quick change. Right? And we fast forward to today. You talk golden handcuffs, dude. Sell your agency. There's a lot of good about it, but it's also, bro, I'm in a situation now where I'm in it. Does that make sense? I'm in the middle of, and it's not negative. It's a good thing. It's positive, but there's a big bit of delayed gratification trying to take a company from here to where it's got to go to pay out in a big equity event, go public, all that shit. And there's a lot of us in that spot. And you can be ho-hum about it. You can count the headlines again on $200 million man, all the bullshit. I'm like, man, you know what? I'm not fueled right now. And so just a couple of weeks ago, you saw it. I'm like, yo, you know what? What if I rebuild it? What if I just do it again? What if I start from zero? Right? I have the agency. That'll never go away. But what if I start my own little, and it's not separate. It's not a separate. It's just a mental. It's a mental start over. What if I build fresh and start this new group from zero, a new base shop? Some people know the terminology base shop. Some don't. But I go, we already got what we got. That, quite frankly, will grow if I quit today or if I get fired today. It don't matter. There's so many good people. There's so many good people that run it. I get way too much credit for all the good people I have helping. So I'm like, what if I start fresh? What if I start doing recruiting calls again from scratch? What if I help some new agents? What if I help find someone like you, right? And I have some now, 22, 23, 24-year-old, 25-year-old guys that are like, yo, I want what you got. I'm like, come over here. I'll teach you. So now just literally, this has happened 2 weeks ago. I went to my whole team. I'm like, yo, let's do it again. Why? You know how easy I can do it this time? Just give me a couple of the players, dude. I know exactly what I need. I know the recipe. I know the ingredients. I know exactly what I need. So we're for fun doing it again, man. And it's got me in a new mode.
That's kind of sick, you know? It's kind of like some would call you like a sick fuck for thinking like, you know, some people just want to get to the mountaintop, right? And like that's their whole life's work. And you're like, why don't we do it again though? Right? Like some things that almost break people mentally, physically, psychologically. You're like, fuck it, with what I know now, right? Because people say, if I knew then what I know now, well, I know now what I didn't know then. Let's do it again. Why? Why? Like it's like John, you're good, right? Like
I mean, I go home to a dope house and
financially, right?
I mean,
you have badass kids, like you're good. Why do it again, John? Like,
because stopping is depressing to me.
Gotcha.
Like, what else am I going to do? Sit at my pool all day? That made me broke last time I sat around my house all day. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So now I'm scared. I ain't going back. You think I'm dumb enough to believe that I can't be broke again?
No.
Turn on anything with pop culture and watch someone who was loaded that's now broke. You can probably name some off the top of your head. Athletes, actors, you know what I mean? People that are in the public news. Business people. Happens all the fucking time, dude. It's not uncommon. So what got me where I'm at is the hard work and the dedication and the discipline and all the stuff.
Right.
Well, shit, you think keeping it's going to be easy?
No, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dude, you can go through times of complacency and take your foot off the gas in a sense.
Yes, sir.
You know, so I'm like, well, guess it's time to do something big. I like seeing people win. If I look back, that was my favorite times in the agency is when we built it from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and having no money made it more difficult, but it was the most fun times I remember looking backwards. The guys I did it with, the girls I did it with, and how we came up together and we started making money together. And you start living different together. You start traveling different together. Yeah. Families go do things together that you can't normally do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I have the knowledge, and there's other people out there dying for an opportunity.
Right.
And someone gave me the opportunity.
Yeah.
Had they quit when they had made it, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
So I'm like, dude, if I quit, it messes. Just like when I do things, it helps someone like you and I don't know it. You just see the words, hear the words, meet me, we talk, whatever. It helps you. The opposite is true too. If I stop, someone that would have had that moment doesn't get it now.
Right.
And I'm like, dude. And
keeps you up at night, huh?
Be honest, dude, the more money I make in life, this sounds weird, I think, when I say it, but it's so accurate. The more money I've made, dude, the more I realize how little I've make.
Why do you think that is? Is it because you're around more money as the more money you make? Is it because you see what's money? You know, it's funny. I tell my brother this the other day. We go to a cigar lounge, and so we like to talk. And sometimes I work there, and like some of these dudes, man, like I was telling them, you dress like this until you graduate to go buttonless, right? Like, but what we think is money is not shit to people who have money, and it always will go up because there's levels to this shit, right?
100%.
Like for you, is that how you see it?
Yeah, because it's true. I'm around it and I'm like,
right.
I don't know, dude. You get around people that have 3 private jets.
Fuck. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I fly nice, but I'm still on Delta, bro. I've taken private flights.
That's sick, by the way.
But I don't have a plane.
Yeah.
And that's not everything. I'm not saying that's everything.
No, I know what you mean.
Like, there are people, dude, you drive by the private airport near my house. It's 6 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of people in there.
Yeah.
Every day of the week.
Yeah.
That live in the same town as me.
Yeah.
Their kids go to school with my kids.
Yeah.
Why can't I have one?
Facts. That's it.
I don't want to go to Atlanta, dude. Yeah. I don't want to go through TSA.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait for the chick to bring me my drink.
Right.
Like, why can't I have it now? And why can't I take all the people I help with me?
Right.
Why couldn't I fly to go see you do this podcast? I could just have flown there private.
Yeah.
Did the podcast. I could have been home before dinner.
Same for me. I could send you a jet. You know, like why not shoot for that, right? Because people have that.
You know, people live that way, right?
Yeah. Like it ain't shit. Like it ain't shit either. Like it's no big deal. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, dude, I don't. Again, did I sell my agency? Yep. Have I made millions of dollars in this space? Yep, lots of them. But dude, the guy who bought my agency, you go $200 million man, all that shit. I laugh at it because if we wiped my volume off his books, the dude that bought me, it would not be noticeable. I'm a rounding error.
No shit.
He did 25 billion last year.
That's fucking crazy.
So I'm like, dude, when they don't notice $200 million, like, and again, it's not like people don't appreciate it and doesn't help and all that. But at the end of the day, dude, if I could magically walk away and take the 200 million with me.
Yes, sir.
They would keep operating, dude.
Right. Right. Yeah. Nothing changes.
Whereas if you think about it, like your stage, if Steve quits tomorrow, you may lose your ever-loving mind.
Yeah. I'm going, don't fucking quit, Steve. Yeah.
But some people, 200 million is a rounding error, dude.
Yeah.
They just go to business the next day and have lunch with a billionaire and they plan the next fucking thing in their journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You start learning behind the scenes of insurance. We're just touching the surface with the ways to make money in this space.
So much money.
You know? For me, man, I don't know, dude. I want to keep pushing and I don't want to go backwards. You know? And it's hard. It's hard to build from scratch. And I've become someone who does hard things.
Yeah.
That's who I am today.
Right.
And it's hard. I had an interview with a guy today. I'm setting up an interview with a guy today. We're DMing, and his question, this will help you. He goes, "Why should I work with you? What makes your base shop any different than anyone else's?" And I'm like, all right. Doesn't matter what you've done, dude. Some people don't give a shit.
Don't fucking care as much as
And
you do.
if I can't add value to him, he doesn't care to work with me. You know what I mean? Right. So even this far in, dude, I'm still going to deal with the same dumb shit you do interviewing people.
That's crazy.
Now, granted, do I get more that just come directly to me? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, I've put in work, dude. I do get, but I interview Steve off the street. He don't give a shit, bro.
Yeah. He doesn't see you the way people like myself do because they don't.
That's why for me, I don't get it twisted. Yeah. If I leave this, if I'm in any insurance room, I hear what I hear and I get what I get in the crowds and people asking questions, fine. Yeah. And so I like helping because, the second I leave that room and I go to my kid's soccer game or baseball game or
nobody gives a fuck.
School event, no one gives a rip, dude.
And you go from being,
I go to the grocery store. No one cares.
Dogs. Yeah. People in the lines of people just to talk to you, and then you leave, and then it's all perspective.
So it's not real, dude. It's like, again, in that moment, is it real? Yes, but is it me? Nah, right. Dude. It's just a little moment, a little flash in life. It's like an athlete on the field getting celebrated. I saw that dude that used to play with LeBron. What's his name? He was on the Cavs. Good little point guard.
Delonte.
Dude, he's homeless.
Yep. Yeah, down bad.
You know what I mean? Yep. And he was a G, dude.
Yep. Yeah, he was.
I was
know
like,
exactly what you're talking about.
Man, I don't know, man. So I'm afraid, bro. I'm just going to keep pushing. I like this lifestyle. I like pulling into my driveway. I like having the kids over there. I like it. So I want to continue to be a provider for not only my family, but other people that I can help, man.
Yes, sir. Now, I want to respect your time, John, but can I ask you 2 more questions?
Yeah.
Cindy? Okay.
I have a 2:00, so I'm good.
I got you. I'll be quick, but I'm gonna read you a quote from Conor McGregor. Okay. I'm very big. Like, it's funny. My brother's over here is fucking bored out of his mind typically when I'm working, because it's always, for me, when I work, if we're not at the office, it's mindset, business, sales. That's on the screen, because I differentiate when I'm at the house, like when I'm off and when I'm working, clearly, but it's the same shit. And I'm very obsessed with what I do. Like, I want to help so many people, and I do it for bigger things than me. And I just can't stop thinking about it all fucking day. If it's 3 a.m. on a Friday, right? And we're hanging out with some girls or whatever, I will tell them to hold on while I pull out my laptop and just put an idea or a thought down, right? Like, I love this shit now. But it says, I've lost my mind in this game. Like Vincent van Gogh dedicated his life to his art, and that happened to me. But fuck it. When that gold belt is wrapped around my waist and my wife has a big mansion, my girlfriend has a car, or my wife has a car for every day of the week, and my kids have everything they want, then it will be worth it. I'll be glad I lost my mind. Does that resonate with you at all? If so, like, do you feel like you've lost a bit of your mind chasing this dream that you're chasing? Because I've lost people. I'm not relatable anymore in my life,
Yeah. If you're not careful, it can get really bad. But I can certainly look at my circle in 2012 and my circle today, and it's drastically different. I don't have a lot of, we have friendships, but I don't have like a lot of buddies I hang out with every week. Like, again, we have a handful. I could call any of them today. We could be like, yo, you want to go grab a drink? They'd be in. We want to go golf? They'd be in.
Right.
But I don't have like a big, my family's the most important part to me. I like that. My favorite part of the thing, I'm willing to sacrifice a lot of it, to be honest. Because the reality is, dude, when I worked at the warehouse at night, went to school during the day, I worked at the restaurant, taxes during, I'm working 70 hours a week, dude. I was gone then too, but my family lived like shit.
Yeah.
So now in today's world, I learned how to balance it certainly a lot more than I could have 10 years ago.
Yes, sir.
I'm a lot more disciplined with my schedule, because you can go too far. You know what I mean? And if you leave your family out of it, it can go sideways, bro. I did that. I went too far. And when I got back out of the field, because I didn't communicate well, and I didn't pay attention to things that were sort of obvious. When I got out of the field and suddenly was home every day, dude, it was weird as shit.
Yeah.
I was in their way. You know what I mean? Because they had a routine down with me being gone.
Right.
That was in 2017. That caused a lot of headaches. So now I do it, but I've learned the key for me, dude, is that's helped with this is I can still be that way, but I no longer do it for everyone. I used to allow everyone who wanted my time, I would give everyone access to my time.
Yes, sir.
Right? Based on potential or whatever they said they were going to do or whatever it is. And now I just don't give a fuck, dude. And not in a mean way, but I've learned that 99% of people, more if it's a bigger number, it's like that dentist 99.9% thing.
Yeah.
99+% of the people that I've talked to since being in this business have not stayed committed to the shit they said they would do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when
a bunch of people
when I would have people reach out to me, I used to assume they were going to be the 0.01%. Now I just assume they're going to be the 99, and they work around my schedule. You know what I mean? I have a guy in my DMs now. I've built this. I did that. Can you talk now? I'm like, I mean, I'm open fucking Thursday at 2:15.
Right.
Why? I'm taking Maddox to baseball practice today. So during his practice, I won't take a call. I won't. Where 10 years ago I did.
Right.
Now, there's a few people in my world that if they call, I'm taking that call at that time.
Right.
But the overwhelming majority of people don't have access to me 24/7 like they used to. So I found that if I do it the right way, not in a mean way, but I have some type of boundaries in my life, I set really clear expectations. Because not only, in our space, the person who wants to work with us, they're 1099 and they're going to bounce around. Like I had a guy DM me this morning, the guy that's like, what makes you different? I responded and I said, great question. What makes you different for me to want to work with you minus other than the 300 other people that DM me today? Let's start there. I wouldn't have said that 10 years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, so I do resonate with it, but I also do value. We're only going to be here once, dude. I'm not the guy that's like, we're only going to be here once. Let's just live mediocre.
Yeah.
I'm more like, I'm going to war. And this isn't to offend anybody that's in the military because I wasn't, and I appreciate those that are. But it's like, I'm going to Afghanistan for 3 years. I'll be back.
Yeah.
There's people that do that every day.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do that. But mentally, there was a period of time where I had to go run and I'll be back. I'm here every night for the most part. But mentally, I was on a mission.
Yeah.
Today, I'm still on that mission, but I've learned how to control my calendar so well that I can get a lot of stuff done in a more condensed period of time today than ever before. Right. I'm more effective, I'm more efficient, and I have a better team. I have a squad, I have help. So yes, I do resonate with it, but I'm also careful to make sure that I'm here to enjoy it too, dude. You know what I mean? I'm taking my family to Italy in a couple weeks. What? 10 years ago when I went to trips, I'd have I'd have meetings still scheduled every day. Right. And in between the tour, I'd be doing calls.
On vacation, right.
Yeah, between everything.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. This time I won't. Now I'm like, block my calendar.
Yeah.
5 days, I'm out. You know what I mean? Again, can those select few call me? Yep, 100%.
Right.
Am I doing an interview for recruiting? No. Am I going to do a team call? Nope. Am I going to do a coaching call? Nope, I'm not. Am I going to find out what's up with the spreadsheet that someone owes someone else in my office? Nah, they can figure that shit out.
Right.
So it's today there's some level of balance that most people want too early.
That's true. Last question for you, John. I'm gonna let you go. All right. I'm curious to hear your perspective. I really put some time into these. People say you shouldn't have an ego, right? But out of all the greats that I've studied and watched and observed, to some degree, have an ego. How important is it to be great to have an ego to some degree? And when do you check it?
Yeah, that's a good fucking question, dude. I think if you don't have some level of ego, you're probably not going to win in life.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I just want to be careful not to let that take control and be a dick to people. Because I have been in my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't like how I feel. And I never did it like, I always reasoned why I was a dick. Like in my head, I could validate it. Still. But I don't like the way I made people feel. Because I've had people that have egos treat me a certain way, and I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Even though I understand it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can relate. Um, so I think it's important to have a high level of confidence that you can do or become the person you say you want to become and do the things you say you want to do. But if you have too much of an ego, I think you won't necessarily put in the work and you might get your shit smacked at some
Right.
point. You know what I mean? Like, and have a reality check.
Mhm.
So I like to kind of not forget where I came from, and I'm never gonna be the dude that's like aggressive. F you, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
But internally, I'm chasing a lot of people that don't know I'm chasing them. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that mentality of like, F you, watch me.
Yeah.
Like, you don't believe in me? F you,
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
I have that internal.
Yeah.
I don't say it to people much,
Right.
but it's such a driver to me internally. So I think it is important, dude. But at the same time, it's like, what happens when you get multiple egos in a room? I want to be able to do business with other people with egos too. So
Mhm.
there's some ability to go. I mean, I need some kind of ego to be confident and do some big things. But I also have to realize, dude, I don't really know shit.
Yeah.
I'm not really that big a fucking deal. I'm not really, you know what I mean? Like, I just keep doing the work, bro. Do you
Mhm.
get educated? Yeah. Do you learn some stuff? Yeah. Do you get smarter? Sure. Could someone find something in me that I'm just naturally better at than most? Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think we can find that in anyone.
Mhm.
It just might be a different thing.
Right.
And if you come close and you want to get real and come to therapy with me or really dive down deep, you'll see I'm a shit show just like everybody else, dude.
Right.
And I don't know, man. I'm tired of people pretending that it's not that way. I'm
Right.
tired of people pretending they don't struggle. I still struggle, dude. I still
Right.
struggle with mindset. I still struggle with whether or not I'm doing the right thing or doing enough, or if I treated that person right, or if I'm good enough, or if I can get to the next level, or if I deserve to speak on stages? Do I deserve to be invited to? I still have that, But I'm like, the one thing I know, bro, is I actually want people to win big. I'm very motivated by money, too.
Same.
Not to, you know what I mean? It moves me.
Yeah.
Not everybody's that way, which is fine. But I really love being a provider, not only to my family, but others, man. If I can come across you and then one day you go like, yo, at that event, you said this and I turned it into this. I fucking love that piece, bro.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hooked on that.
Yeah.
In today's world, I get messages like that every week, not necessarily every day, but every week at this point. Someone sends me a cold message thanking me for something I've done for them, and I don't know them. So I'm
It's
like, it's
beautiful.
it's hard to give up
Yeah.
on that for me.
Yeah.
You
What you
know,
are for people, like even though you go through it, it's like, look at the fucking result though. From what
yeah.
this
So
insecurity.
so I know it's there, but like, I
Yeah.
don't know, man. When I go home and I'm in my little friend circle and like
Yeah.
they'll see me jogging down the road,
Mhm.
you know. One of the moms in our group drove by and she slowed down and rolled down the window and her kid screamed out, "Do more!" You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of cute. Or
That's
like,
crazy.
they'll kind of poke fun at, there was a text group or something going around the other day, and Steph's response was something like, John probably has a video on YouTube about it. You know what I mean? Like, they poke fun.
Like kind of mocking it, but like, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm okay with it. I'm like, I just take it for what it is. And you know what I mean? I'm like, dude, I ain't that special, but it's helping people. So I keep doing it. I know I'm on YouTube and I know I'm on this, and just
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like, I'm just trying to help people win, dude, and feed my family
Yeah.
and be part of people's journey and continue to grow in life and business, man. So
Well, John,
I'm figuring it out just like you, dude. Trying to figure it out just like you. I'm just a little further down the path. That's all.
yeah,
Just a little further ahead. That's it.
bro, I need to give you your flowers, man. Like, I've stared death in the face multiple times, and I've also seen the beautiful things in life, right? And what it is a motherfucker that has made it to where you want to be, but takes the time to put a arm on your shoulder and say, listen, bro, I'm not gonna give you all the game. I don't even know if you're worth the fuck, but I promise you, I'm gonna give you a little bit of time, and if you do it, it's gonna work because I'm just like you, and
Yeah.
you've been that for me in my career, bro. And it didn't matter where I went, what I did. You've made time to speak to me. Um, and the shit's fucking working for me, John. I text my mentor real quick and was like, "Hey, man, I just want to say thank you again because I have found my place in this business, right?" And he was like, "Bro, I knew you would," kind of deal.
Yeah.
So, bro, for you to give me that time, um, I have a podcast, man. I have a beautiful home. Like I have a big team of people that some I haven't even met. Like I thank God for the people that I have met and the people that I don't know. But
Sure.
thank you, bro, for being who you are, dog, and just really being there for the little man, right? Because that little man may not be little forever, bro. And I always told you, I was like, one day we're gonna eat at the same fucking table. He said we already did, but bro, thank you, bro.
We did.
I
We
appreciate it.
did.
Thank you for your time, man.
My man, happy to help, dude. Keep killing it.
Yes, sir.
You're the real deal, bro. And if the people that come across you don't see it,
Mhm.
don't get caught up, bro. Just keep it
Yes, sir.
moving. Help people win, and keep doing your thing, bro. You're definitely on the right path.
Yes, sir.
It just takes time, and it's gonna feel slow some days.
Fucking
You know
A.
what I mean? But just when it feels slow, look backwards.
Mhm.
Don't forget how far you've come. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Keep at
brother.
it, my man.
I
Happy
love
to
you,
help.
my man. I'll talk to you soon. Keep kicking ass.
Appreciate you, bro. Later,
Bye.
homie.
Yes, sir.